you well. Today we have a really good video. I promise you this will be good. It's about the Swedish hospital, Beckomberga. A little bit about the history. A little bit about what happened in the past. And my experience there. And because we're talking about Sweden, I of course went today to IKEA, and this is my favorite. It's the dime almond cake with chocolate and crunchy caramel. And we also have then some of my favorite tea. This is the Chinese brewer tea. I have been working on this video for quite a while. I will tell you in a moment. And one of the things was that I had these old photos left when I was in Beckomberga. I was there a total 1.5 years, and at that time I don't know, for some reason I bought a camera, and it was a camera sort of, it was one of those Fuji cameras that you just open and you click, kind of really easy. And back in the 80s we had a thing called dia pictures. Like what these are? These are like projector pictures, so you could take photos, and you could choose if you wanted to have it printed out in a paper or in a negative like that. This and because it was in negatives, you know, like they you know, this was just so cheap to print out. But I was facing a problem here like here in Perth, where I live, there's only one place that deal with this older technology anymore, and they were able to print it out in digital form. So you will see a much more younger version of me in this video here. Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking for so long, like, how should I do this video for you? How should I gonna explain how you know, it was back in the 80s? Well, just to give you a measurement how long it was ago. That was before Michael Jackson became white. You know, he was he was still black at the time. I like his music. It's good. So, how did I ended up working there in Beckomberga? Well, I was after my army service and my studies in Finland. I was okay. Yeah. So after my army service and my studies in Finland, I had very difficult to find work, and then Sweden was advertising for Finnish workers. Oh, look at this guys! Look! Oh, I should go to IKEA more often. This looks fantastic. Yes, so when I was still studying in Finland, I saw this advertisement of summer work in Sweden, Stockholm. I applied and I got accepted. And I then took the ferry over from Finland to Sweden, and I went to the hospital, and yeah, that's how I started. Little did I know back then that the people I met in that hospital would change my life forever. I really mean, they expanded my horizon in a way that many of them had traveled before, and at that time in the late 80s, like traveling was not the same like it is today. And like if you went traveling from Finland, you maybe just went to Spain or like that. Like going to Thailand or those far away places was kind of like a wow. And I met people my same age that had been traveling, and they was telling me stories about their travels and what they had seen, and it really influenced me in a very positive way. So I really think like if I would not been accepted to that summer job in Sweden, Stockholm, maybe I would still be in Finland. Yeah. Have a look, guys. Yeah, so let's have a taste. If you haven't tried this time cake from IKEA, please try. It's actually something really nice. I have made some notes for me here, so I just want to give you a little bit perspective about Beckomberga, because it is not the normal mental hospital. The Beckomberga hospital is close to Stockholm, so it was very easy to go into Stockholm and out from Stockholm with the metro line. And the Beckomberga hospital was built in between 1929 and 1935, and it opened the door in 1935. And the place was closed in 1995, so 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95. Was it 60 years? And at its peak, the hospital had 2,000 mental patients, and this is the largest in Europe. And I must admit, I put some pictures in here so you can see, there's two huge main buildings, one for the men, one for the women, and here the administration building here, and the kitchen. And then you have kind of other places in the back here, I was working here, and then around here in the front of the building, you had what you called elevhemmet, the student homes at the time. So a part of the working agreement was that you got free accommodation. And having free accommodation was really good, because you was having these long corridors in the student homes, and there you met other people, and I got new friends, and I started to I sort of got that kind of feeling of freedom I never had before. In Finland, I'd done all my studies, and I'd done my army service, and I had my schooling, but I never really was kind of had gone out by myself, created something for myself, and I researched all this myself, finding the job in Sweden, going there and working. So the hospital at its peak had 2,000 mental patients, largest in Europe, and it had 1,600 beds, and it had about 800 staff. So we're talking about a large institution, the biggest of its kind in Europe. And back at the time when they was building it, they also made the garden really well really manicured, and so the building was 4 stories high. But under the buildings, they sort of had those tunnels, and if this was sort of the main kitchen here, and back here we had the male and the female wings, where all the patient was. In winter, it was really difficult to transport the food in like trolleys on top of the ground here, because you had to go through snow, so they built tunnels connecting, you know, all the buildings, and it was in 1970s. I was reading about 1970s that somebody got the idea that we are doing art therapy here, and we need to get some more places to paint, and somebody said, hey, why don't we just go into the tunnels and paint the walls there, because the walls are just it's just concrete walls, and that's how it started. Like when I was working there, starting January 1987, you could walk down into the tunnels, and there was a place that you had a gym there, and you could kind of walk from here up there, and it was quite convenient actually. Yeah, tried to be normal. Toughest 30 seconds of my life. My favorite cup. Yes, so because I had the camera, I went down into the tunnels and I took oodles of pictures. And I can promise you, I have been looking through every corner of this house here in Australia, and I can't find those deer pictures, because I took a lot of pictures, because the walls was painted by famous painters. Of course, some of the paintings there was ordinary people. The underground paintings was going for hundreds and hundreds of meters, and it was just it was just stunning to see it. And so I wanted to share a little bit about that with you here, because very few people know about it, and also I was reading online, like, now the hospital is it was decommissioned in 1995, and now it's just like apartment houses, and I think some of them are just for refugee housing or something. But the also what that they did, I think they had to destroy all the tunnels too, so it's kind of sad, because the paintings there are unique. I was reading that one of the famous Swedish painter, he actually died there at the hospital after a lobotomy. mental illness is a very difficult thing. See, if I break my arm, the doctor know what to do to heal my arm. They can operate. But if I go to the doctor and say, hey, I don't feel well inside my head, there's somebody inside my head talking to me, and so the treatment, to my understanding, back then, in the early development of psychiatrists, was that maybe they could operate out the bad thoughts. So yeah, they did lobotomy there, and when I went there to the hospital, they only did like electric shock treatments to get people to snap out from the mental state that they were in, and I distinctly remember two men. There were two men that been discharged a long time ago, but they've been living there at Beckomberga all their life. So they came back to the ground and just was roaming around. And it was I actually felt really sad for these two guys, because I know one of them had lobotomy, and he had one of the arm was cut here, and he was always wearing jeans and leather jacket, summer or winter, didn't matter, and I never understood what he was saying. He was muttering something, and yeah, he was just roaming the grounds there because it was his home. Then there was another man there that I think it was his right eye he was missing, and he was also just wandering around there, like he didn't live anymore there, but because of the grounds was so big, very, very big, I mean huge, the biggest in Europe, and they never bothered anybody, so the staff just said, hey, it's okay, they can walk here. Yes, it's with mental illness. There is no insurance for it. Nobody can have enough guns to fight it, and it affects anybody, any socio-economic status. I mean, like you can be really poor, or you can be really rich. But it looked to me that there in Beckomberga, unfortunately it affected many people that was highly creative. I mean, like artists, poets, and then we have like other like movie stars, and like I actually met some famous people there during my stay as an orderly. So my normal day was I would then in the morning go from the student housing to the my ward at the hospital premises, and there was maybe like 15-20 minutes walk, and then in the morning they would have like a overview of what was happening. I was at the alcohol and drug detox unit, so meaning you would have people that go out drinking alcohol and not eating anything. I mean, just pure drinking for 3 to 6 months every day, as much as possible, and then they would come in a state that there was delirious. I mean, like they was screaming, there was fighting, and there would many times but they was coming with the ambulance there strapped, and then we took over it, and then we started to detox regime, and we would sometimes we had to strap them to the bed, and the leather straps was about this wide and that thick. I mean, so strong that I don't think even an elephant could come out from them. I remember there was one time there was one guy that was quite strong that came in, and he started screaming and everything, and one of the orderlies there on the on the ward was he was quite fat, and like big bone, yeah, and he was like, I don't know, 150 kilos or something, and we are running into his room, and he's getting out of his bed. So here's the guy, the patient, and the big fat guy come on. He come and belly flop on top of the patient. So we could then have time to put the leather belts around him and strap him down. And he was screaming, "Take away the locomotion." I mean, like a train locomotive. So he seemed like it was a big train that had jumped on top of him. But so we got him strapped down, and then they give the doctor on duty was giving then some kind of injection that they just he calm down, and but this is just a sign of the delirium when the patient seen demons, and they are in a state where there's nothing to do with reality, and but on that ward there was also women. There was some women I distinctly remember that were pregnant. I think 6 or 7 months pregnant, and they've been out drinking alcohol, and taking tablets or drugs or whatever, and they was just carrying the baby, and that was even though that is so many years ago, I still remember, because it just affected me, like, think like poor baby. You know, the baby didn't even get a chance. And of course, everybody was chain smoking there. I remember there was this one little guy, a small guy, short guy, and he'd been a sailor, and I'd been sailing, I guess, around the world many times, and he'd been in there 40 times. 40 times, meaning he come in for detox. We gave them detox medication like Antabus and Hemnivrine. That is good for detoxing, and just slowly started to eat, and like he was just skin and bone. And I remember I was with the doctor there when the doctor had a talk with him, and he said that, hey, listen, the situation is like this now, that you don't have much of a liver left, even that the liver can regenerate itself, and but this has been going on for so long that your liver is haven't had time to recover, and but it's kind of like yeah, it's yeah, that was a bit sad. There was one guy that came in. He was there a couple of days. He had a private room, and then what happened? You know, he didn't come for breakfast, so we went into his room and see to wake him up and say that breakfast is ready. And at night he had fallen out of his bed and he passed away. He also had diabetes. So almost all the clients there was from disadvantaged circumstances in life, but not all. There was one client that came in there, and he always come in a fur suit, like expensive fur suit, you know, like a jacket, long jacket, and I need some help. And he was a Finn, and so of course I speak Finnish too. So I started to talk with him, and he told that, oh, you know, it's you know how did you ended up here? And, you know, why it's not me, it's my job. I said, your job, like, do your job force you to drink? Well, in a way, because see, I do business with the Russians, you know, trading, and every time when you go there, they want to measure you up. Are you like a man or a mouse? And we only do business with men. So they go out drinking, heavy drinking for 2-3 days straight. And if you're still standing, all right, let's talk about business. So he had gone on a lot of business trips, and of course then, you know, I don't know, was it yeah, maybe the business was good, but he just came there for detox and went out, and he didn't come so often, but there was also then one orderly like me that was working there with the clients, that he himself was drinking a little bit too much. So he lived in the same district. So when he was coming in for detox, he consequently came into the same place where he was working. So the staff had to be really careful, like, are you here to work today, or are you here as a patient today? Which one it is? And because he was there like a patient, he was thinking that like he was working again. No, you just go to your room there and relax, and we give you something to that you can get a good night's sleep too. Yeah, it's really interesting now when you are sort of reflecting back on the times there. I don't know how it was, but sometimes they also took, you know, our staff to go to a hospital and just sit with the clients, and I did it a couple of times, and you know, it's so many years ago, but I still remember I went to quite a big hospital, and when you know, I said I'm such and such, I'm here for a 5-6 hour shift, and can you direct me? And they direct me to the ward, and I went there, and then the nurse in charge told me that yeah, you have a really simple shift today. We have this woman that has been maybe 6 months living on the street, and been circulating in this kind of you know, groups that are shooting up with needles and those things, and she just want to talk, and I went into the room and I sat down with her, and I think I was not really prepared for what I was going to see. Like, she was just skin and bone, and she just told what has been happening, and you know, all the different drugs she had been taking, and you know, she paid for it, and it's just I don't know. I was just sitting there and having a chat with her, but it took a little time for me to just be to collect myself after this one. Yeah, but otherwise I was just there at Beckomberga. I was mainly just on my ward there with the detox, and but sometimes when some of the other wards had short of staff or some were sick, they called us to come and fill in. So I went into a few times I went to the women's ward where it was just women. And now, this is just my perspective, my view, but when you have a female and you have a male client that has mental illness, it's much easier to read what the male client will do, because you can see when he's getting aggressive or like that, and you know, and you can act accordingly. But women, they are so clever. I mean, they can fool you easy, and they're smart. They're really, really smart. I remember I was there in the summer, and I was just going to buy an ice cream there. For that, they sort of had a kiosk there, and the clients could walk around there freely too. And this one client coming up to me, no, I mean meaning no patient, and she come up to say, and hey, can you buy a Snicker bar for me? That you know, I really don't have so much money now, and you know, and I haven't get paid, and she said, well, you know, if you buy me a Snicker bar, we can go into the bushes there, and you can do this and you can do that, and she was just testing all my buttons, and I think, yeah. First of all, if that would happen, I would lose my job. And secondly, if I buy you a sneaker, you just run away. So why don't we just forget about the whole thing? Yeah, yes, but going into the women's ward is, you go in there and they really check you out. They really just have a long look and they read you, and you kind of feel like you are that kind of little lamb walking past a herd of female hungry lions, and but yeah, like sometimes you had to, assist a little bit there, but you need to be careful when you open the door, because when you open the door and you walk into the room, the female patient's room, like you can get this kind of warm brown mortar thrown at you, like kind of, and sticks on you. You need to also be careful about the handles you open there, because then they can kind of be painted brown, and you know, and yeah, I was not there too often, but yes, and you know, there was famous people there, and also the most dangerous female patient is also been held there. You know, like was it some heinous crimes as she done, and but the pay was quite good, and I was young. I was just 21, 22, and so consequently, then you know, when I think I worked half a Saturday or something, but the weekends off on free, so of course, you know, there was a lot of partying. a lot of parties happening there. I put now in the pictures here that I got very digitalized. You know, these one. I am putting them in now, and at the same time, I'm giving a commentary. So it was good time. Beckomberga hospital, and at the time Beckomberga was the biggest mental hospital in Europe, and with 2,000 patients. When I was there was sort of a new kind of thought that was floating around, and that was, to keep people in institutions. It's actually inhumane. You need to. That's part of our dark history. What we need today, need one thing called inclusion. And inclusion is just something that you. We take Johnny here that been institutionalized all his life. We take him out. We put him in a council flat to live, and then we have a nurse coming every second day to see that Johnny takes his medication, and he can go to therapy sometimes, and so that was sort of the 87. And things went that way, away from there. Then, hey, we need to get out, everybody out in the society, and that kind of thought permeated, and but that's also happening here. Today, my day-to-day job is I take a client out, and we have inclusion into the society. We are doing things here, and I pick up clients with my car. I drive them to hospitals. I know if we go to doctor's appointments, shopping, even movies, and but some clients are very, very, very difficult to adjust to normal life out in the society when they have been institutionalized. This man that I will tell you about now, he is not my client, but I saw him a few times, and he was a very tall guy, and he's about the saddest person I ever met. And his eyes were so deep inside the head, and he was skinny, and it was just like he was walking, and a dark cloud was just surrounding him. And one of my friends that had been looking after him, and she told me that this is a very sad story. This man, he had all his life this feeling that he's a female, and I think he got one of the first. What is the correct word? Gender reconstructions. They made him from a man to a woman. They can operate it and made him to a woman, and he also took all the hormones and everything. And he was a she, and she decided that she didn't like to be a woman anymore. And I don't know how it's possible, but the doctors did some surgery, and they make her to be a man again. So going from man to woman, live as a woman, it's that's also, you know, one of the people I really remember, like the deep pain he displayed on his face, and I don't know much more about it, but he was just walking there slowly, and he back to he again, and yeah, in my ward, they sort of had like a coffee room, like every other place have like a coffee room, and there was a thing that I would like to end this video with, because it's something that is quite good. There was this empty bottle on the table, and this was the drug and alcohol detox ward I was working on, and the saying I still distinctly remember. It goes like this: 17th century saying, first the man take the bottle, then the bottle takes the man, and in the end the devil take them both. Yeah, guys, so this was the story about Beckomberga. I'm sorry I couldn't add more pictures about the tunnels, the paintings in the tunnels. The paintings in the tunnels doesn't exist anymore. They're all demolished. They're all gone, like culture heritage gone. But if I ever find my pictures that I took in that place, I will make a new video for you. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please comment. It's been a long time making this video, but I hope you liked it. And I was in Beckomberga Hospital 1.5 years. And from there then I flew directly to India with Birgitta. And that's how I ended up being in Australia. Some of my videos count story too. So thanks again. Keep well. And hey, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because I will make more videos like this. Take care. All the best. See you soon. Bye.